If you're over 60 and you've noticed it's harder to read the label on a pill bottle, harder to see the road when headlights shine at night, or even harder to recognize the faces you love, you might think it's just old age. But the truth is, in many cases, it's not age alone. It's your eyes quietly running out of the nutrients they need. The good news is you don't have to rely on expensive treatments or fancy supplements. Sometimes the answer is as simple as what you put on your plate. In today's video, I'll show you the 5 most important vegetables for your eyes. Simple foods you can find in any store and cook in minutes. Each one helps in a different way. And number 3 is especially powerful, so don't skip any part. Welcome to my channel, The Smart Approach to Staying Strong After 60. If you want clear, practical guidance to protect your health and energy as you age, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. In with carrots, the vegetable everyone associates with good eyesight. You've probably heard that since childhood, but here's the thing, most people stop eating them regularly once they get older. And after 60, your eyes actually need what's inside carrots more than ever. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, the natural orange color you see. Inside your body, that beta-carotene turns into vitamin A. And vitamin A is essential for 3 important jobs: keeping the surface of your eyes moist and protected, supporting your retina so it can turn light into clear images, and helping your eyes adjust in low light or at night. If you notice it takes longer for your vision to adjust when you step into a darker room or driving after sunset, makes you nervous, that's often an early sign you're not getting enough of this nutrient. I once spoke with a woman named Margaret, 66, who told me she avoided visiting friends in the evening because night driving made her so uneasy. She said the headlights from other cars looked like fireworks bursting across the windshield. When we looked at her meals, they were heavy on sandwiches and pasta but very few vegetables. I suggested she start with something simple, half a cup of lightly cooked carrots a few times each week. The cooking matters because steaming or roasting carrots actually makes the beta-carotene easier to use. And when you add a touch of healthy fat like olive oil or a little avocado, your body absorbs it even better. Margaret was surprised at how quickly she noticed a difference. Within a few weeks, she told me she drove home at dusk without that same fear and felt a sense of relief she hadn't had in years. That's the kind of change a single vegetable can bring. Not a pill, not a procedure, just food. So if you haven't had carrots in a while, try adding them back in. Roast them, toss them into a salad, or enjoy a simple carrot soup. Your eyes will thank you, and when your vision feels stronger, you'll feel more confident too. Now let's talk about another orange vegetable that's even richer in beta-carotene than carrots: sweet potatoes. They don't just taste good. They can make a real difference if your eyes often feel dry, itchy, or irritated, like there's sand under your eyelids even when nothing is there. That uncomfortable, gritty feeling is often linked to low vitamin A. You see, vitamin A doesn't only help you see clearly, it also helps your eyes produce the thin tear film that keeps them moist and protected. Without it, every blink feels rough. The surface of the eye gets inflamed, and many people simply assume it's just age. Sweet potatoes are one of the best natural sources of this nutrient. In fact, a single medium sweet potato can give you more than enough vitamin A for an entire day. And unlike pills, sweet potatoes bring along fiber, antioxidants, and a gentle natural sweetness that won't spike your blood sugar like white potatoes do. Take George, 71, for example. He told me his eyes felt so dry in the evenings that he kept bottles of artificial tears in his living room, bedroom, and even his car. He said watching TV or reading the newspaper had become frustrating because he had to stop and blink every few lines. When we looked at his meals, it was mostly toast, deli meats, and coffee, no colorful vegetables in sight. I suggested he roast a batch of sweet potatoes once a week and eat a small serving 3 or 4 times. It didn't take long. Within 2 weeks, George said he was using his eye drops far less often, and he actually finished reading the sports section without his eyes burning. It wasn't a miracle cure, but it was progress, and it came from real food. Sweet potatoes are easy to prepare, gentle on the stomach, and when paired with a little olive oil, avocado, or a sprinkle of nuts, they become even more effective because vitamin A is fat-soluble. If your eyes sting when you read, tear up when it's windy, or feel raw, first thing in the morning, adding sweet potatoes to your plate could be a simple, natural way to get relief. Next on the list is spinach. This simple leafy green might not sound exciting, but for your eyes, especially the macula, the central part of your vision, it's one of the strongest forms of protection you can give. The macula is the tiny spot in the back of your eye that lets you read, recognize faces, and see details. As we get older, it's often the first area to weaken. That's why some people notice they can still see the edges of things, but the center looks blurry or faded. Spinach helps in 3 important ways. First, it contains vitamin A to support the retina. Second, it's rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 special antioxidants that concentrate right in the macula. Think of them as natural sunglasses inside your eyes. They absorb harmful blue light, reduce inflammation, and slow the kind of damage that steals away central vision. Let me give you an example. Eleanor, 74, told me she could see her grandson's outline clearly, but couldn't make out his facial features. She said, "It's like the middle of his face is missing." That's a heartbreaking feeling, and when we looked at her diet, it was almost all bread, soup, and tea, hardly any greens. I encouraged her to start small, add half a cup of cooked spinach to meals a few times a week, whether in an omelet stirred into soup or simply sautéed with garlic and olive oil. When she returned about a month later, she smiled and said, "Yesterday I looked at him, and I saw his eyes again. Not perfect, but clearer." That's the difference spinach can make, not a cure overnight, but a shield that helps your vision hold on longer. Cooking spinach also reduces compounds that can block mineral absorption, making the nutrients more available. And just like with carrots and sweet potatoes, pairing it with a little healthy fat helps your body take in the fat-soluble vitamins more effectively. So if straight lines on the page are starting to look wavy, or if the center of your vision feels fuzzy, don't ignore it. Spinach may not be fancy, but for protecting the part of your eyesight that matters most, it's one of the most powerful foods you can eat. Another food that deserves attention is tomatoes. Most people think of them as just something for salads or sauces, but tomatoes are packed with nutrients your eyes need, especially if night vision has become a struggle. Here's why: your eyes rely on vitamin A to make a protein called rhodopsin. That's what helps your eyes adjust when the lights go down. Without enough vitamin A, your pupils open, but the picture never sharpens. That's why many older adults say, "I see fine in the daytime, but once it's dark, everything feels unsafe." Tomatoes also contain lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that protects the retina from damage caused by light exposure, pollution, and the natural stress of aging. In simple terms, vitamin A helps you see in the dark, while lycopene helps protect the camera film of your eyes from wearing out too quickly. I remember meeting Harold, 70, who said he avoided walking through his own hallway at night unless every single light was on. One time he even stumbled over his dog's food bowl because he couldn't make it out on the floor. His diet was mostly sandwiches and coffee with very few vegetables. I encouraged him to add cooked tomatoes, things like tomato soup, a bit of sauce with olive oil, or even roasted tomatoes a few times a week. When I saw him a few weeks later, Harold said, "Last night I walked to the kitchen without turning on all the lights, and I didn't trip once." It wasn't a miracle, but to him it meant freedom and confidence. That's the gift tomatoes can bring. They're not just colorful on your plate, they're fuel for your night vision and protection for your retina. And remember, lycopene and vitamin A are both fat-soluble, so you'll absorb them better if you cook tomatoes with a little oil. So if driving at dusk makes you nervous or dim rooms feel unsafe, tomatoes could be one of the simplest, most comforting foods to help your eyes handle the dark again. Finally, let's talk about pumpkin. Most people think of it as a fall holiday food, but pumpkin is actually one of the most powerful vegetables you can eat for your eyes, especially as you get older. What makes pumpkin special is that it contains not just beta-carotene, but also alpha-carotene. Both of these turn into vitamin A inside your body, and that matters because as we age, our ability to absorb and use nutrients isn't as strong as it once was. Pumpkin gives you a richer mix so your eyes get steady support without having to work so hard. Vitamin A from pumpkin helps keep the outer surface of your eye, the cornea, moist and protected, reducing the burning, gritty feeling so many seniors live with every day. At the same time, pumpkin also delivers lutein and zeaxanthin, which go straight to your macula, the part of your vision that helps you recognize faces, read, and see detail. Together, they help your eyes handle light changes, dryness, and the slow wear and tear that often leads to age-related vision loss. Let me share an example. Dolores, 72, told me she loved reading her recipe books, but had started to avoid it because the words seemed faded in the middle of the page. She also said her eyes were always sore and tired by the end of the afternoon. When we looked at her meals, there were hardly any colorful vegetables. I suggested she try something simple: stir a few spoonfuls of canned pumpkin into her morning oatmeal, or add it to soup a couple of times a week. A month later, she said, "My eyes still get tired sometimes, but I can read more before I have to stop. And the burning isn't as bad." It wasn't dramatic, but it was real progress, and it came from a vegetable she hadn't thought about since last Thanksgiving. That's the beauty of pumpkin. You don't need to eat a huge amount. Just small regular servings can quietly protect your vision in the background. It's affordable, versatile, and easy to prepare. For aging eyes, it's like giving them an extra layer of defense day after day. So now you know the 5 vegetables that can truly make a difference for your eyes: carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, tomatoes, and pumpkin. Each one plays its own role, keeping your eyes moist, protecting the retina, helping with night vision, or shielding the macula from damage. You don't need to eat all of them in one day. What matters most is consistency. Pick 2 or 3 times a week, add 1 or 2 of these vegetables to your meals, and let your body do the rest. Even small, steady steps can help your eyes feel clearer, more comfortable, and more reliable. And remember, blurry vision trouble with night driving or burning dry eyes are not just annoyances. They're warning signs that your eyes are asking for support. By making these simple foods part of your routine, you're investing in more than just vision. You're investing in your independence, your confidence, and your joy in everyday life. So take that first step, add one of these vegetables to your plate this week. Your future self will thank you. And here's a little preview of what's coming next. In the next video, I'll share with you 4 bedtime teas that can help your eyes repair naturally while you sleep. So stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with someone you care about. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, The Smart Approach to Staying Strong After 60, so you never miss simple, practical ways to protect your health and energy as you age.